Hi, Randy Bixby, Character Genetics, and I want to talk with you for a few moments about managing relationships. I call this the Relational Constellation, and I actually have 3 different constellations that I work with people in the training, in the workshops and coaching. But I'm just going to do this one today, and it's very powerful. And it is something that many people I've discovered don't really give a lot of thought to. Many people feel like, you know, relationships, they just are what they are. People in my life, they're just there. They kind of mysteriously appear or leave. And I don't really give intentional thought to managing relationships, ending relationships, starting relationships, looking for new relationships. And one of the things that real achievers, real people that get things done understand is that, you know, who you associate with really matters. My dad was a great man, love him. He used to tell me as a kid, he said, Randy, you want to change your life, change your friends. That might sound, well, I can't change my friends. Well, I'm here to say, yeah, you can. and you probably should, for good reasons. And it's not out of judgment and being better than, but it's really about understanding who we are, why we're here, and where we're going, and what's required to get there. And there is a very real human and relationship element to anything that we want to create in life, because we're in the human family, we're put in families, you know, and we're in organizations, we're in businesses, we're in churches, ministries, where we're in relationship. And I want you to just hear this out, interact with me on this, and see how this might really shift things for you in your life in a faster way than maybe you've thought of before. So let's just jump in. This is called a relational constellation. What I want you to do is I want you to draw this out. Grab a piece of paper. You know, you can push pause on the video, whatever. Grab a sheet of paper. Draw this out. It's basically a target. There's 2 lines, you know, going top to bottom and side to side in each circle as you work your way out. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually, in a moment, you're going to put names on this constellation that will represent your current relational constellation. I'm going to give you some guidelines on how to do that. Here's how you do it. First of all, you start with yourself. So this is you. All right? So put your name in there. You're in the center. And by the way, the relationship you have with yourself is a critical relationship. You know this. How can we love others unless we love ourselves? You know, we can't. And a lot of times we see others the way we see ourselves. And there's a whole other thing, and that's an important thing, but you're in the center. And in a moment, I want you just to begin to write names, and here's the guidelines. There's only 1 name per line. Okay, 1 name per line. We all have a limited number of spots in our inner circle. Time is limited, right? Energy is limited. You can't have 100 people in this innermost circle. It doesn't work that way. We all have a limited number. So you're going to write closest to you on these closest lines the people in your life who get the most time from you and you give the most emotional energy to and get the most of your energy. Time and energy and investment or withdrawal from you is who makes it in here. It might be your kids or your spouse or your family or your inner circle, your leadership team, but you're going to rate these or rank these based upon who is it that gets the most of your time, the most of your thought, the most of your energy in your life. The 4 people that do that the most go on the innermost lines. So you put their name in there, you know, Tom, you know, Jerry, or whoever it is, right? And you put the names in there. Now, go 1 more layer out and put the next 4 people who, on those criteria, are your inner circle. Put their names there. And then so forth, and so on, and so forth, and so on. You might want to pause this for a while and work on that. And when you're ready, you come back. So now you've got names on here. And these names represent who is it that's getting the most of your time and energy and attention and emotional care. And then the ones that are out here are the ones receiving less, but they're still on your grid. This is a very eye-opening experience for a lot of people. And I do this in our workshops, and I ask, well, what did you observe? What did you notice? So I ask you, what do you notice about this? Some people notice, you know what? I don't have very many people at all in this. And I say, okay, well, what do you think about that? And I may ask you, if you're one of those, what do you think about that? Maybe an indicator that part of the reason why you're achieving the level of results that you are, and they may be great or they may not be great in different areas, but they have something to do with the people in that relational sphere, that relational constellation. You might ask yourself, well, who else do I want in there so I know who I can engage in relationships with? Or you might even ask, you know what, there are a lot of people in here that are taking a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. They're really not congruent or in alignment with where I'm going. They're really more of a taker as opposed to a giver. And you might understand that, you know what, there's people out here that you want in here, but these spots are already taken by people that are takers instead of givers. And so guess what? You may want to move those people out to move other key people in. You say, well, how do you do that? There's a number of ways. We talk about them in the workshop, but just a couple. One is you have an open, honest, responsible conversation with them, communication. And another way is just simply stop giving them the attention and see what happens. Another way is to just tell them, listen, hey, for this next season, I'm really focused on this, and I'm not going to have so much time, for us, whatever. But it's not never, but it's just not now. My time for you. It's not never, but it's not now. You'd be surprised when you start to shift your availability to people, what happens? Some people, nothing happens, and that should say something. Some people get all bent out of shape. And, of course, that needs to be dealt with. But I promise you, part of the reason that you are exactly where you're at is because of the people around you. And one of the things I've noticed this over and over and over with people, with myself, is when I really want to change and go to another level, when I want to grow my company, grow my church, have more influence, absolutely, this relational constellation is one of the first and most important things that shifts. And so, not only do I recognize it shifting, but I can cause it to shift. There may be people that you'd like to talk to. Let's say you really want to pioneer a new work, a new ministry, a new outreach. But your current constellation of people, they really don't have a passion or experience or giftedness or whatever in that, which means you might want to engage a new person with that. But you don't even know who they are yet. Like, who's an expert in training? Who's an expert in equipment? I don't even know this Bixby guy. Or I don't even know so-and-so. Guess what? Start a relationship, right? Engage a person. Define the relationship. Whether it's, an intensive mentoring kind of relationship, a coaching relationship, just a friendship, a casual relationship, or a working relationship. But here's what's interesting. You've got to make room for a person before you can put a person in here. Here's what's another good use of this tool is you can have a relational constellation for your own personal life, family life. You can have a separate one for your work, your ministry, your business. You can have, different ones for different sets of circumstances. But I promise you, when you begin to pay attention to your relational constellation, you'll begin to see shifting in your results. And it's very powerful. And I'm not saying you blame other people so you kick them out of your relational constellation, but I'm saying you become aware. What is the flow of energy like between me and this person? And is it a priority for me before God, before in my whole life and going on, or is it not? And who are the few people that I want to pull in closest, because I'm limited to how many I can have closer, to be able to go to the level that I really want to take my life, my ministry, my business, outreach, all right? And the truth is this. Unified strategic action with other people are one of the keys to transformation in a city, in a culture. And so finding out who is like-minded with you and where you're going and moving them closer in is going to support you in doing it. And there has to be room for them to come in. And there's a whole lot more to this, but that's the basic tool. And I encourage you to do this on a regular basis. Do it every quarter or a couple of times a year, or specifically if you're about ready to make a change, to do something new. Evaluate where your relationships are at, what the quality is like, what the flow of energy is like, the time demands, and is that really the relational mix that's going to support you in moving forward, or does some things need to shift for a season or permanently? And And don't be surprised who God begins to bring in, or you begin to attract to you, people you don't even know yet, as you get clear on your mission and you get committed to shaping and moving things. Listen, my dad was right. You want to change your life or change your results, change your friends. In a lot of ways, that's true. Doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else or not, but it means I'm focused on who I am, what I want to do, and I want to get there with people who are in agreement with me, in alignment with me, and we're going there together, and I'm out to find them and connect with them. Listen, I hope this has been helpful. Go back, play it through a few times, and use this tool. It's a very profound tool. I'd like to hear from you. Have some questions or need some more support? You know how to get in touch. So this is Randy, Character Genetics, Permanent Shifts, Lasting Change.